So you saw the title of this video and you immediately hit click. If you're already a content creator, or you aspire to be a content creator, or you just create content for your business, then you already know that this is no joke. I've had so many people ask me, Keisha, how do you keep up with your content, filming, and all that stuff? And I mean, just tell you, it's not easy. But in this video, I'm gonna give you all the tea. I'm telling you my exact process for planning, scripting, and organizing all my nail videos for YouTube and content for social media right now. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, what's up? Do not forget to hit the like and the subscribe button, and do not forget to hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I post new videos every week. So first and foremost, before we get into anything, I just want to say that when I am talking about my content creation, I am 80% talking about my YouTube channel and how I organize content for that. I'm going to dive into social media a little bit later on in the video. So if you're interested in that, you could stick around to the end to wait for that. But right now, let's get into the first thing. So how do I plan, script, and organize my content? So when it comes to coming up with some type of idea for a video, I usually pull from several different sources. So the first one is going to be my own experience. That's always going to come natural to me. It's always going to be something that maybe I wish when I was coming up and doing nails, somebody would have told me something that happened, and I wish there was a video out there troubleshooting it. Is there a need for certain things? And just certain things that happen to me as I'm working with customers, and I'm like, I wonder if this has happened with somebody else. So it's just stuff that I'm pulling from my own experience. And any topic that usually falls into like my own experience is going to usually be something that I want to talk about. It's not necessarily something that someone has requested, asked, I thought there was a need for, none of that. If this happens to be a topic that I'm unsure of, sometimes I'll just jot it down in my content calendar and I'll swing back to it. Second thing is going to be my students' questions. My students help me so much more than I think they really understand, especially when it comes to my channel and content and just anything like that. So they'll ask me questions in class, and that'll stem sometimes into a whole idea for a video, and especially about stuff that sometimes that I don't even think about. And a lot of times that happens so much that I'm like, no one cares about that. And they're like, no, I would like a video on that, or I would watch something like that. And I'm like, seriously? So a lot of times it's stuff that happens in class. So I'll pull questions or pull video ideas from the stuff that happens in class. The third thing is going to be trending or seasonal ideas. So for example, I just put out a video on fall trends, products, and supplies that you need for fall. That's something that I want to do. That's a video idea. Maybe it's something trending. It's going to be seasonal. I have to get this video out in a certain time, obviously at the start of fall, or if it's going to be Halloween tutorial on something, or Christmas, obviously those are timed specifically for a certain time of the year or a certain week, but that would be another video that I would think of based on the season that's happened. If something is trending, maybe I had something else I was supposed to do that week and stuff started popping up on my algorithm about this and that, or I'm seeing people talk a lot about this or doing a lot of this, then I'll push the more trendy topic video up and push down whatever else I wanted to do for that week. And lastly, sometimes I want to just simply update old content. No one said you can't. We're not repurposing old content, but updating old content. Like for example, the skateboard videos I have, those are probably top 10 videos that I have on my channel that do very well. I'm dying to do those videos over just because, one, video quality changes over time. We have different cameras, the cameras get better and better with every phone that we have. So sometimes I look at my old videos and I'm like, this is so like, it looks so like not clear and this, especially those that like in that first year when I started the channel. So sometimes it is going to be video quality that makes me want to do it more updated. Sometimes it's because of the editing. I've learned so much since I've been doing YouTube when it comes to editing and shooting and filming and my angles, how to look at the camera, how to do this. And I've gotten so much better. So sometimes, again, looking at old videos, I'm like, this looks horrible and I look horrible and the video's horrible. And, you know, it's probably something that obviously you guys watching, you don't really pick up on or notice. But if you've been with me since the beginning, you've seen the evolution of the channel. And I sometimes want to do old videos over for that reason. And another reason is because some of you are new. This might be the first video that you've caught of mine right now, not knowing that I have over 300 older videos on this channel as well. So for you new guys out there that maybe just don't feel like scrolling through all my old videos, it might be easier to just click on the one that's new this week versus scrolling to one that was done 3 years ago. So sometimes it's just doing stuff a little bit more updated. I also learn and experience new things. So again, let's refer back to the state board. There's things that I've learned now that I would actually inject into the video that I necessarily didn't know then when I was filming it. Again, if you've seen that video and followed that video, you would do fine on your state board. But there's just a couple little things that I would like to tweak on that video when it comes to preparing for it and performing certain procedures and tasks on the state board exam, or just filing techniques or this or that, just certain things that I've learned as a nail tech, as an educator, that I would like to redo for older content. Keeping up and organizing your social media is going to be crucial. It seems like a lot, but it's one of those things that it's an extra step to take, but it's going to make your life so much easier. So I have shared again in a very older video how I organize my content, but let me just break it down and I'm going to show you everything that I use and that I do when I'm trying to organize my ideas for my social media content. In Google Sheets, I have my YouTube content calendar. So I hold all my calendars for content here. I have it by the month. The date is the Wednesday's date that I upload videos, the title of the video, and if it was filmed, edited, and completed, I mark it there. Then if you slide over, I'll keep other ideas for videos or reels, shorts, or something like that. Just throw that on that side. Sometimes I don't always have a place for it, but I just want to jot down the idea. I always note if I'm not doing a video or I didn't upload and so on and so forth. So it can really vary. At the bottom, you'll see I use these content calendars for different things. So like this one was my Vlogmas calendar. So the dates on the month doesn't correlate with the date, but this was everything I did for Vlogmas when it was supposed to upload. Then I have my previous year's videos and content calendars, 22, 21, and all that stuff. Because again, if I've posted something before, I want to look at my content calendar. Sometimes I'll pull ideas from another year. It still didn't get done, so I'll drag stuff over. These are blank templates that I'll use was the base. When I first bought this, I bought this from another content creator that I follow. I don't think she still has a link to it. I did pay a small fee for it, but this is everything I have. And so basically that's going to be my whole entire process. But I just want to add that if you don't want to take it up that far, simply go into Docs, go into Sheets, make your own little, just write it down what the ideas that you have. I think it's more important to jot all the ideas you have. Even if you didn't want to schedule it out, you could do that on a week-to-week basis. Just pull from one of the ideas that I have and boom, I'm going to do this video for this week, or I'm going to make this reel. But get all the ideas down, because a lot of times we have random ideas or thoughts and we don't remember them. So that's where the organization helps for all your ideas. And again, you don't have to be as extensive as I am. I've just found the system to be like super helpful because again, I know every single video that I've ever shot. I know what day it came out, this and that, and so on and so forth. So it just makes my life a little bit easier. If you are somebody that's watching this and thinking about doing a YouTube channel, then I 100% recommend getting a social media content calendar, which you need, because as you start to do this over the years, you don't want to get so repetitive and you're going to get lost in ideas and thoughts and what you did do versus what you want to do versus what you need to do. So you definitely want to get really, really organized for your YouTube channel. Okay, so once I have my ideas, I organize it into my content calendar. I know, okay, I need to film on this day. This is going to be the video. So I need to get a script together. How do I get a script together? I'm going to talk about that in a second. But before I can even start to do a script, I need to do a little bit of research and a little bit of prep work to prepare for filming or scripting this video. For example, if I'm doing the tutorial, I need to make sure that obviously I have all the supplies that I need. I have everything that I need to just kind of do the tutorial. If the tutorial involves, maybe sometimes I have to do a little prep before I can actually even start shooting on the mannequin hand or my nail or whatever that may be. That's something that I have to make sure that I have the time for. I'm scheduling the time for. I just have to make sure I have supplies, all that stuff. I'm doing an educational video when it comes to nail theory, when it comes to just anything educational on the channel. I always make sure that I do my due diligence with that. That's no joke. I don't want to speak the wrong thing, especially to someone, you guys that are watching me, listening to what I'm saying. I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about. And even if I'm 98% sure, let me just double check so I know 100% sure this is a fact. So I will cross-reference the textbook a lot. I will Google. I can pull up sometimes from other creators. I'll look up a topic, see what they had to say. Maybe I liked what they had to say, or they're saying the same thing I want to say, but I want to do it a little differently, or I want to add this, or I'll do my research a lot more for the educational stuff, but still, it's still some type of research and prep work that needs to be done. Sometimes I'll ask my students for their opinion. Sometimes they'll have another point that I can add into a video. I'll say, oh guys, I'm doing a video on this, this, and that. What do you think? They'll give me their feedback. They'll say, oh, don't forget to mention this. I'm like, oh, that's a good one. And I'll add in a little bullet point. So I know that, okay, I'm making sure that I'm getting everything in. This is exactly why we like to script as well. So we make sure we don't forget anything. So sometimes I'll ask my students for their opinion. And lastly, I like to use ChatGPT. I use a little bit of AI assistance, especially this year. The goal was work smarter, not harder. So sometimes if I have an idea, let me just run through my video idea through ChatGPT and see what they have to say. Maybe they can offer me another bullet point that I'm like, okay, I didn't really think about that. That's a good one. I'll add that in, or I like this. Or sometimes they're like, they didn't really give me anything that I didn't really think of on my own, but it doesn't help to just cross-reference with AI, see what they have to say. So these are some of the ways that I do a little research before I begin scripting. So when scripting content, I used to just write out some bullet points, just boom, 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 boom. So I'm looking and I'm seeing exactly what I want to say, mainly because I don't want to forget anything. I think nothing irks me more than watching a video and you can tell they weren't prepared. I like to script. I like to sound professional. I like to know exactly what I'm talking about, and I don't want to forget anything, because the worst thing is to forget something and you don't realize you took down everything you set up to film, or you're already like editing and you're like, damn, I forgot to mention that. That was important. So I like to always make sure that I don't miss anything. However, more recently, I don't know why, my scripting ended up becoming like literally scripts, literally like for the most part sentence format of what I'm going to say. So I have less to come up with on the spot and I can just read what I wrote. But it's harder to film that because obviously it's more script. So I have to read and look up and kind of memorize. So I'm not sitting here like this talking to you guys and it's obvious that I'm reading something because I'm looking down at my script. So we can't do that. So we have to make sure that we are glancing and reading. And so it takes more time to film. Whereas if it was a bullet that says, talk about scripting, then I can just look at the camera and talk about it. So it is harder, but I feel like it's giving me more precision, if that makes sense. So that's one way that I do like to script on my videos. And I also save all my scripts. I type them up, usually Google Docs. I print them, obviously, because I need to stare at it. Don't ask me why, but I actually do still have all the hard copies. I've been doing this channel for like since 2021. I literally have every single script that I've printed. I have everything on my computer, but on my iPad and Drive, whatever. But I do have it printed out. Why? Because sometimes if I'm using old content, or now we're coming on several years now, so sometimes I don't want to get too repetitive. So I'm like, I spoke about let me just give an example. The other day, I'm scripting this video and I'm like, did I talk about this already? I had to go type content creation. I did a 2-part video not too long ago. I think it was this year or last year on content creation. And I'm like, I feel like I spoke about this. I had to pull that script out. Because again, I can just go to my channel and see, okay, I did talk about content creation. I don't feel like watching my whole video to see what I talked about. I don't have time for that. So let me pull up the script, see exactly what I spoke about. And I'm like, oh, okay, I did talk about how to do it, but I didn't tell you how I do it. I just said some tips for content creation, but I didn't tell you exactly what I do. So I said, okay, so this is a little bit different, a little bit more updated, and this is a little bit obviously more personal coming from me. So with that being said, again, this is another reason why I like to save all my scripts. You don't have to save the printed copies, but I do recommend saving on your iPad, phone, laptop, Drive, something that you can refer back to, again, to know exactly what you spoke about, because sometimes one topic could be so broad in the way that you're going to execute it. So you want to make sure you're not being too repetitive and then also too soon. If you just did something about content last month, you don't really want to do that again this month. You want to wait a little bit. So when it comes to social media, how do I plan my content? So actually, it's kind of the same way. I have an idea, I jot it down on my content calendar, and then I can prepare to film it. I'm not as anal with the social media stuff as I am on YouTube. Again, if you follow me on Instagram or on TikTok, that's usually broken down clips of my YouTube video or nail pictures. Randomly, I'll be in a funny mood and I'll film something stupid, silly, or whatever for my Instagram. So let's talk about one of those reels or shorts that are silly, goofy, whatever, not stuff that I'm breaking down and repurposing for social media, but just my random work pictures. Let's talk about reels. How do I come up with those ideas? So again, I have an idea, I'm going to jot it down in the content calendar. Sometimes I refer back to it again. I don't really look to that so much. I kind of just I don't know, when I get an idea for a reel, especially if it's funny, I get excited about it and I'm like, okay, I want to do this now. So first thing I like to do is, what kind of reel is it going to be? Is it going to be something silly? Most of the time it is, knowing me, it's usually silly. So I need somebody to actually film this. So I always look at my schedule. Who's coming this weekend? I have certain customers that like to film or don't mind filming and participating. And then I have others that are like, oh no. I always ask everybody's permission and I always give them an advance notice. Once I see who's coming in, I'll text them so hey, I have this idea. I want to shoot a reel. They're always like, oh God, what? So I'm like, it's going to be blah, 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 blah. I'll give them a gist of the idea. Are you down? Sometimes they'll be like, no, I don't think I can do that. I'll be like, all right, no worries, no sweat. I'll ask somebody else, or I'll wait till the next weekend, whatever the case may be. If they say yes, fine, okay. I like to give them a heads up, one, because I need to schedule that. Especially something that is going to be silly and it's going to be scripted, we need more time. So if I see, for example, I'll use my friend customer Carla. If Carla's coming in and I see I have a little bit of a gap after that, I can block that gap. So I'm not going to affect the next person's appointment. I need to block that. I need to make sure she has enough time, because filming, reels, I feel like they take longer than a YouTube video. So I need to make sure that she has time, I have the time, and we all know what's going on. Another thing is, I'm not going to put anybody on the spot on a day. These girls, they want to look cute. Nobody wants to come in and you find out you're filming right there and then they be like, oh my God, I look like a mess. I hate those random same day can I film something? Because they be like, do you need to see my face? You know, they don't, they want to look cute on camera. So I like to give them a heads up, especially if I know it's going to be like a full body shot or whatever. They can come in looking cute, looking dressed, whatever the case may be. So get their permission, then they come in. So now it depends on how detailed the reel is going to be. Sometimes it could be just, okay, you're going to say this, look here, I'm going to do this, you're going to say this. If it's anything above just a simple sentence or two or a little direction, I script it out. I don't play that game. I'm not gonna have you fumbling, looking crazy. This is gonna take longer if we're unorganized. So I'll literally script out what's gonna happen. When we did the nails and hip hop with Carla, that was a full script. I sent it to her days before. She got a chance to look at it, come prepare for it. I had time. Deja had time to look at, you know, she was going to be involved in it. Everybody knew what was going on that day. We had blocked out like an hour and change because we knew that was a lot of filming. There was a full script. When I did another one with my customer and what it was like if customers knock on the door and like a DM was in real life, whatever, she had a full script. She didn't get it ahead of time, but she got a script that, because I was like, you can kind of read the script and then look up and I can fix it in editing. A lot of stuff I can just fix in editing. I just need them to say it to the camera so I can get the shot. But they always know ahead of time. I try to script it out so they know what's what. If it happens to be something that's just like trending, or sometimes I have like I want to do who's coming this weekend, or I'll see on my schedule this person's coming. They always like to do these nails, or she already told me, ooh, she wanted to do these Halloween nails. I'll let them know, like, you know, do you mind if I film? If it's just their hands, they usually never care. I usually don't ask in advance for that because it's just their hands. It's when a face is involved or speaking, that's when we got to get like a heads up notice. Sometimes if I'm filming just hands, I'm doing like a shot. Again, I still like to make sure, because it still takes time to set up the camera and get the little shots so I can piece together the reel. So I like to make sure I have a little bit of time, especially on something that's going to be a little bit more extensive. And again, it depends on how much of this reel I'm going to shoot. Am I going to be like little pieces to get the reel, or am I going to shoot the whole entire thing? And then on my end, I'm going to edit it and break it down, because again, I need to make sure I have time for that. So that would depend on, obviously, if something again is trending, I'll look at other nail techs or creators, or if I see reels popping up. You know, when it comes to trends and reels, you got to be on it. You see some things trending, like that whole demure thing, you can't wait, you can't sit on it, you can't wait and shoot that. Nobody's talking about demure. Now it's over, it's done. That was a couple months ago, dead. You can't wait on it. So like if something's trending, you got to kind of film it like now and get it out there while it's still a hot topic. Other than that, it's going to be dead. So these are things that you want to consider when it comes to your social media. So again, if I'm again talking about YouTube a lot, but if you are just filming nail content for your social media, you should be writing these ideas down. There's definitely other things that you can always film. How much I make in a day. This is how many clients I did and the nail prices. Come to work with me, a day in the life of a nail technician. These are things and topics that are just always gonna be relevant. You can always do it. How do I do my prep? How I do my application? How I file? How I polish? Tips for this. People love all that stuff. So all these random ideas that are just gonna be reels, write it down. Again, you don't have to be fancy about it, but write it down so you don't forget it. So when you're like, I need to film something this week, what can I do? I have this pool of ideas that I'm just gonna pull from, cross it off, and I can do that. If you want to know how I edit my content for YouTube and for Instagram and TikTok and social media, stay tuned. That is going to be in the next video. I'm going to show you exactly how I use CapCut and TikTok to edit all my content. So this has been a requested thing. I have students that have asked me, how do you edit? Because I think I can explain. I've talked about the different, apps that you can use out there for content and how to film and this and that, but I'm going to show you exactly how I edit my content and a little beginner friendly tutorial for CapCut. And again, for TikTok, if you're not familiar, I'll try to throw a little bit of that in because TikTok actually has a pretty decent editing software within it if you are just more on that platform. So do not forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified when that video uploads next week. If you guys have any other questions about content creation, do not forget to leave them down below and I will answer it as soon as I can. Thank you for watching and I will see you next time. Bye.